everyone, welcome to day 12 of the holiday card series for 2013. Today I'm starting out with some bands of cardstock, just in different colors. In fact, I'm not entirely sure where all these different colors of cardstock are from. I know that the coral color, the blue color, and the brown are from Basil, but the other colors I'm not entirely sure because they were kind of like leftover scraps on my craft desk. So I'm not entirely sure where they're from. But anyway, so I cut them out in varying widths, and then I put them out on my craft sheet or on my mat so I knew what order I wanted them in. And I'm going to be adhering them to this white piece of cardstock. This cardstock is cut to 3 3/4 wide by 5 inches tall, and I'm going to be placing all of these bands of cardstock all along this white piece of cardstock. They're going to butt up against each other, and I'm creating sort of my own striped pattern paper piece. I'm kind of piecing these different colors together. And I'm going to be embossing, heat embossing on top of them. And so that's why I used a ton of adhesive on that white cardstock, because as I apply heat to it, the bands of cardstock are going to want to pull up and pull away. You guys might remember a card that I've done similar to this where I had bands of color and then I embossed over the top and the cardstock started to pull up. And so I remembered that I had done that, and so I added lots of adhesive. So a couple stamps that I'm using today. I've got one from Mom Elephant called Flashy Letters, and the other one is Holiday Fill in the Blank from Avery L. I'm using my Inkadinka and embossing magic powder bag just to prep that surface so that I get the best embossing possible. And then I'm stamping the And Bright greeting from that Avery L stamp set. I'm just stamping that with my compact stamp press. And I like using the compact stamp press because it has those foam feet and it lets me kind of really wiggle and move things around until I get it exactly where I want it. And after I did that, I started to stamp the letters. It's going to say Mary, and Mary has 5 letters, and the center letter is an R. So I stamped that first right in the center, and then I did the second R and the Y. And then I went back and moved out from the center again, and I stamped the E and then the M. And that makes it so everything's centered and you don't have to worry about having it be off center. I'm going to use a couple snowflakes from the Simon Says Stamp Holiday Envelope Sentiments stamp set. It's the same stamp set I used in the last holiday card series video. I'm applying some white embossing powder, and it kind of stuck around to some areas and I don't want that, so I'm going to pick up a little brush here. It's just a dry brush, and brush off all that extra embossing powder just in those little areas I didn't quite get with my powder bag. And now I'm using the stamp set from Simon Says Stamp called Holiday Borders. It has this really fun kind of Nordic sweater pattern, and I wanted to stamp that up there at the top, applying some embossing powder. At this point I haven't heat set anything yet, so I'm going to clean up this embossing powder that's on the very top there. I'm going to use that brush again and just kind of brush it all off. Make sure everything's nice and clean. And then I held my heat tool off to the side for quite a while to let it heat up, and then moved it to my project. I wanted to minimize the amount of time that the heat was applied to the cardstock, and the cardstock didn't pull up too much. I was really impressed. Next, I took my Uniball Signo Broad white gel pen and added some dashed lines along the red and also along that brown. And then I punched the corners with my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. This is the 1/2 inch corner rounder. And I punched all 4 corners. And then I prepped my card base. I'm using some Nina Desert Storm environmental cardstock. And I just scored that at 5.5. This is a top folding card. And I tied some Doodlebug red baker's twine around the paper piece and stamped piece. And then as I add foam to the back of this piece, I'm going to make sure that I put foam right over that twine. And it's going to make sure that it doesn't slide up and down this piece at all as it goes to the mail. It's going to make sure that it stays exactly where I want it because I put that foam adhesive right over that string on the back. I adhered that down to my card, and I'm almost done. I'm just going to add some little Hero Art gems. These are the smooth gems. They're almost like clear enamel dots with a little bit of mirror underneath, and so they look really shiny and bright, but they're absolutely smooth on top. And that is the card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you try this out. Try some bands of color with some embossing, and I will catch you guys next time. So if you've been watching the holiday card series for a while, you know the drill. Here are 3 more holiday card videos, and they are from the 3 previous years for holiday card series. The first is from 2012, then one in the center is from 2011, and the one on the far right is from 2010. So if you want more holiday card inspiration, check those out. If you loved this video, please give it a thumbs up. And you can also hit that subscribe button in the top corner. You can visit my blog at kwernerdesign.com for even more inspiration. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.